Good afternoon. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Melissa if you're new here, and today's video is going to be an update on all of the moss poles that I took off the pole and chopped. I mentioned at the end of that video that I would give an update on all the poles at the beginning of the month. I will say, since that video and having a month of not having moss poles to water, I just feel so much better about not having them on an actual moss pole anymore. It's still weird, like I still feel like I need to come in my plant room and water my moss poles. Like that hasn't officially left my brain yet because I did it for so long. But it is so nice coming in here to water and not have to worry about that. I just had it, like I was just at my point that I was just done. I'm like, I cannot do this anymore. I need, for my own like sanity, not having to water these. Like I'm done. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the camera turned around. I'll give you a quick little overview of them in their corner, and then I'm gonna bring each plant out one by one in the order kind of how we did that video, and share a more in-depth update on how each one is doing. So if you watched my plant styling video it was sometime after I chopped all these, this is where my wall of moss poles used to be. And so here in the corner is where I have them all still. So I need to actually style these and get them up off the floor. And I added in this new shelf here, and I have just some of my monsteras right here. It's crazy that this entire wall used to be a wall of moss poles for like 3 straight years. I don't know, it's just so different, and I love this space so much better. The first plant that we tackled in the video was Monstera esqueleto, and I ended up saving one cutting right here, and I still haven't decided if I want to continue growing this plant. I'm leaning towards no. And the reason is I just feel like I've kind of fallen out of love with Monstera esqueleto, and it's such a massive leafed plant that it gets huge. And I've had this plant at its biggest, huge, on like 4 layers of a moss pole. And although I really love it, it is a monstera, it's just I feel like I'm ready to part ways with it. And so this cutting here, I feel like I could probably go ahead and pot it up. I was waiting for it to root more, and this is all that it's done in about a month since that video. The new growth that was emerging has kind of browned, so it'll take a bit to regrow. I have so many Monstera esqueleto babies growing from this plant from all the wet sticks. I've had so many rounds of wet sticks from when I chopped the pole, and I've grown so many baby plants out of this one, and it's not my favorite to propagate. I honestly could restart one of my I have several baby plants right now with like 2 or 3 leaves each. I could probably restart one of those and it would grow faster by the time this one actually starts growing again. But what I'm thinking about is probably just getting rid of this leaf and setting this wet stick up and pot it up. And then I'll probably just grow it out and then let it go as like a small plant. And whatever I have left, I'll eventually, list, and I'll probably not keep this in my collection anymore. So yeah, that is Monstera esqueleto. The next plant that we tackled was philodendron sodiroi, and I ended up saving the top section in that video, and I repotted it into semi-hydro. And I feel like semi-hydro was probably the best for this plant because it didn't have a significant root system. It had like 2 tiny roots, and I wasn't sure how it was going to do, but honestly it's done really well. It looks the exact same, and I think what it's doing is just working on growing some roots in here. I can still lift it pretty easily. I can tell that it's rooting a lot more, but it hasn't rooted enough to actually be able to like grab it and lift the inner cash pot up. So it's definitely not rooted enough. And so I don't think it's going to work on pushing any new growth here until it actually grows some more roots. And then once this plant actually starts climbing, I'll add a second layer on, or I'll just switch it for a stake. For those of you who haven't seen my philodendron El Choco red, it is massive. I know philodendron loves semi-hydro, or at least that one. So I I have like no doubt that this one will enjoy semi-hydro, and I have a feeling this guy is going to get huge if I let it. I do want to chop it back periodically, you know, to have propagations. I don't know how big philodendron sodiroi leaves would actually get. I feel like these are pretty big for this plant. Yeah, it's doing just fine and no issues at all with sodiroi. Next up is epipremnum aureum manjula, and this one is a sad update, you guys. This one is not happy, and I need to rehab this like ASAP. I've been watching it over the last 2 weeks, and I knew a couple weeks ago that it wasn't doing well, and I haven't watered this pot in a while. So when I had chopped it, I feel like it didn't have like a good enough root system to pot up. And that's what I was worried about with a lot of these, like potting them directly into soil without a healthy root system, because I feel like those roots will shock and then it's just going to go downhill. What I should have done was stick it in water like some of the other ones, let it get a good healthy root system, then pot it up. So at the end of the video, or after I show the last moss pole, that's what I'm going to do really quick, is I'm going to take it out of here and stick it in water and let it root up first, because you can see the leaves are really droopy, they're really sad, and the substrate, the clear pole, is still moist. So that tells me that there is not really any healthy roots that are taking up this moisture. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take it out of here and stick it in water. I may have to propagate it again, we'll see. Kind of like how I did my jessenia, I had more of a top cut. So if this is all bad down here, I'll have to see when I take it out, but I might just do a section here, reroot it, and then plant it. So yeah, this one's not happy. I was actually surprised that this one shocked. Manjula is a little bit more finicky. I feel like out of all the epipremnums pothos that I've grown, this one is the most finicky out of them. So I guess it doesn't surprise me, but I thought it would have been okay when I potted it in here. But yeah, kind of a sad update with this one. Next up on the list is epipremnum cebu blue, and this one you guys saw me pot up recently if you watched the plant styling video that I did with this. I put it in water, and then I felt like it had a good enough root system to go ahead and pot up at that point. This one here, this leaf, since potting it up, is a bit curled, so this one's probably going to yellow off, but it is working on a new leaf here. And it hasn't quite hardened off, but it is much smaller. It'll probably expand a little bit, but it still has all those fenestrations. So I put it on a stake here, and I'm just gonna let it climb up. And as long as I have some leaves with fenestrations, like I don't really care if it maintains like huge leaves anymore. I feel like I'll probably end up switching this to a core pole instead of a stake so that I can, you know, extend it. And then ever since potting it up, it is growing in some nice healthy roots. It hasn't grown a lot of roots, but you can actually see the healthy root system there. So those were the water roots that are starting to take to the substrate. So this plant is doing just fine. I kind of wished I did this with the manjula, like I said, put it in water first. But yeah, these leaves are nice and firm, they're healthy, they're retaining moisture. And like I said, it has a new leaf, it's already growing. So yeah, some of these big leaves might go, like this one here. But yeah, this one's doing very well. It's very happy. And this one I was severely underwatering on the pole. It was so bad. This was probably one of the ones that was the most compacted because it kind of went dormant over winter for me, which is so weird being in this plant room. You would think that it would continue to grow, but it really did just, it didn't want to grow over winter. And then this spring it finally woke up and spit these 2 leaves out. But then of course I chop it once it actually wants to start growing again. But that's okay. It was just so underwatered. I think I was just constantly underfeeding it, not watering enough. And then I think I just stunted the growth, honestly. So I'm very happy that this one is not on a dehydrated moss pole anymore, and it's going to do just fine. And I love this plant. It's probably one of my favorite epipremnums besides like my manjula and marble queen. I just love the silvery blue tone to this plant. It's always going to be a favorite. Yeah, I'm excited to have this one climb a bit more. I'll probably have it climb up this wall a bit, you know, on the core pole. You know, once it grows, it'll look nice once some of my poles actually start climbing again. I'll just center them around the wall, like on the shelf on each side. So yeah, that one's doing very well. I keep moving you all around my plant room. I think I like the lighting best here, closer to the window. Up next is philodendron glorious. Glorious. This one's done very well. I was kind of worried about this guy because, again, these are some big, big leaves, like huge leaves. The fact that this one didn't shock honestly surprised me, and it just goes to show you that I feel like this plant is just so easygoing. And it has all the leaves still. And the new leaf is still unfurling. I think the new leaf probably isn't going to do that well. It may unfurl once it actually roots up a bit more in here. I feel like it's a bit more firm than what it was because it was pretty floppy. It's still floppy, but the stem, I feel like the stem has thickened up a bit, which tells me that this plant has rooted a bit more. So, oh, there goes the mite bag. Let's actually see what the root system looks like. And there we go. We see some healthy roots growing. And I really won't have to water many of these moss poles because they're still pretty moist. They're staying more moist because there's not a significant root system to take in that moisture. I can always tell by the leaves if the root system is healthy. Like manjula looks very sad and droopy. It's because the root system under there is non-existent. Whereas this one is growing in healthy roots, so it's doing fine. But yeah, I love philodendron glorious. I don't have my splendid. Well, technically I do. I kept a small plant for me, and I'm debating restarting that one or not because I do have glorious. I always loved philodendron splendid, but they're so similar. It's like, I don't know if I want to keep both growing. So I haven't decided. I have so many glorious wet sticks and stuff to grow out. And then eventually, you know, as this plant climbs, I'll continue to chop her. Yeah, I love philodendron glorious. So easygoing. It is, I feel like, a thirstier philo. So if you do have this one on a pole, make sure that you don't underwater it that often. Like, keep it hydrated. It'll be happy. But yeah, it's easygoing. A lot better than its one of its parents, the melanochrysum. But yeah, I love philodendron glorious and happy that it's doing well, growing new roots and everything. But yeah, it should start growing again here, hopefully in a couple months, and I'm excited for it. I think I am somewhat going out of order now. I think I did some off camera in that video. I think that's why I'm getting a little ahead. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the other couple of water props. This one is actually ready to pot up. I'll probably go ahead and do this one in semi-hydro as well. Although I have the sodiroi, so this was another one that I wasn't sure that I wanted to keep growing in my collection, but I do love majestic, philodendron majestic. This big leaf is so pretty. So I feel like it's grown enough roots that it will definitely take to semi-hydro now. I love the red roots on these plants too. So once it roots up and stuff, it'll push new growth. But yeah, this little top section is doing well. I'm surprised that it's maintained this leaf and everything. So the new growth that comes in will be a lot smaller, but yeah, if I put it in semi-hydro and give it support, it's going to get huge, like even bigger than this leaf. I may just go ahead and pot this into semi-hydro like off camera, just in my own time, because if I tackle the manjula today, that's like my goal to get done, is to get that one rehabbed. But yeah, this one is just really easy. You just stick it in pot and fill up around, and I'll probably use a core pole. So yeah, that one needs potted up. Ugh, I need to change the water for this one. Whoops, it's kind of gotten gross in a week. Next up, that was a water propagation, is I kept these two big leaves of my epipremnum pinnatum albo. I just couldn't bring myself to cut these big leaves off because it took me a long time to get this plant to finish straight like this. So I have two cuttings and they're just working on their roots. Now this one, I feel like I would want to continue to root more before I pot this one up. So they don't have a lot of roots yet. The new growth has brown, but it'll push some new growth in some time. So I haven't decided if I want to keep this one or not. I don't know. I think I will though, because I still love this plant. Like, I love the variegation on this one because it's a common plant now, but you just can't beat the variegation, all those tones. It's so pretty. It reminds me of monstera albo. It's very similar to monstera albo variegation, but I love the leaf shape and the splits and everything. So I'll probably keep a plant growing. I'll probably just pot it into my aroid mix once it roots a bit more and just keep it growing up on a stake or something. So yeah, this one's gonna stay in water. I'll just rinse this out, and it does seem a bit slow at rooting, so it'll probably be several more weeks before I pot these up. Another one that I did off camera with you was my epipremnum aureum jessenia. I had actually chopped the top section off a while ago, like before I did that video, and I had it in water for, I would say, a good month. But I did pot it up during that time that I chopped all these, but I think I potted this one up just off camera to save time. So jessenia pothos here. I love the jessenia variegation. It's so pretty. This one. All of my props come in with the most vibrant yellow tones. It's so beautiful. And this new leaf is coming in with the same vibrant tones. This was the first new leaf, and so that is the second one. So I feel like it's going to steadily grow now. It has been working on roots for a bit, but I do feel like it has, oh yeah, it has a significant root system now. So it's going to work on pushing leaves now that it has rooted quite a bit. So yeah, this one's going to look so pretty once it gets tall again. I really love my jessenia. It's such a pretty pothos. I don't know if it would ever get these big leaves on it again, but that's totally fine. And I have my trailing baskets that I prop from all the time, so I had debated, you know, not keeping this one climbing as well, but these bigger leaves on this plant are really pretty, so I feel like it's still going to look nice, like on this core pole, kind of like wrapped around and everything. I may just like let it trail off and everything. It's just pretty to look at. So yeah, I love her. She's doing it very well. We didn't do anything with philodendron gigas in that video, and I still haven't upsized it, so I need to do that soon. But I think, yeah, that's the newest leaf here. And then, yeah, it's getting ready to push another one up top. So I feel like I underwater it even once a week because it is in a small pot. So once I upsize it, I feel like it'll be able to stay hydrated better. But yeah, this one isn't on a moss pole or anything, just a clear pole. But yeah, that's that guy. So hopefully I can get this repotted soon. So Marble Queen is doing well. I actually took 2 of the propagations. So when I chopped her, she was like a pretty tall pole, but a lot of it was dehydrated and everything, and their growth, it just looked really sad. So I took like the top section away, and then I ended up cutting the propagation. So there were 2 propagations, and I ended up doing the same thing with this one that I did with the manjula. I felt like it had enough roots that it would be okay. And so this one didn't shock. Like, this one is fine. You see the leaves are nice and perky. They're happy. I don't see any new growth yet. So yeah, none of the new vines have pushed new growth. So I feel like it's just working on its roots. And you can actually see there is a lot in here. I feel like it should start growing here soon and start climbing again. But yeah, I love this like little section of Marble Queen. I love how tiny it is, and I still have these beautiful leaves to look at. It's not like some crazy pole that was underwatered and falling. It had fallen on the floor that morning, so it was a sign, it was time. But yeah, she looks really happy, and I'm glad that I chopped her, and the only thing that I have to do is just come in here and add some water in here. And yeah, very happy. She's doing well, and yeah, I love this plant so much. It was one of my first pulls, so I'm glad that I can still have her climb and I can enjoy her and it not stress me out. So yeah, Marble Queen is doing it very well, so I'm happy about that. And so the last update that you guys are probably waiting on is big Adansonii. Well, actually, so I call it Adansonii. I bought it as an Adansonii, like monkey mask, but technically it's a monstera species that has not been named yet. So it's related to lechleriana. So technically it's what? Monstera spaff lechleriana monkey mask. I'm going to continue to call it Adansonii because that's just what I know it as. But yeah, it's a species not named related to lechleriana. All right, as you can see, she's got some browning and she definitely shocked. So this one and manjula are the two that really like shocked the most. And I figured Adansonii would shock because I've chopped this plant like what, 4 times? At least 3 times. And she has shocked before when I chopped the plant. But because she didn't have like a huge root system, I did worry about going ahead and planting her into substrate. So I haven't watered her in 2 weeks. I just didn't want to overdo it. I didn't want to chance the roots like continuing to rot, because when I had chopped it, the roots that were actually in the moss portion were all dried out, and I don't know, it was just very weird. I feel like I probably should have stuck this one in water as well and let it root up a bit before I planted it. So I am worried. I want to dump her out and check the roots, but I also don't want to disturb this plant. So I'm a little torn on what I should do. I feel like she definitely could use some water today because I'm feeling in here and I don't feel any moisture at all because I skipped last week. This leaf is definitely droopy, so it could be that she's thirsty and she wants some water. So what I think I might do is water her today and see how she does after the water. If she perks up, then I know she's got some healthy roots. But if she continues to decline, then I know the roots have shocked and I will need to water prop this plant or stick it into semi-hydro. So I'm gonna water it and see how it goes. I was just giving the roots time to like settle in. And I may have overwatered the manjula because I did water this one twice. I may have watered too soon before it was ready, and that was probably my fault. But I definitely, this one needs to come out because you can see this one is very, very sad. So this one's going into water, but yeah, I'm hesitant to disturb this one. I do feel like she's thirsty though. And you know, the crisping on some of these edges, I'll probably just cut some of this away, like the browning that's happened. By the time I actually make this video live, it'll probably, I'm trying to think, today's the weekend. And so I would like for this video to, to go up for this week, the first week of June. So I'll probably, I'll water her today is what I'll do. And then I'll probably give like a mini update, maybe in a few days, and see how the leaves have perked up, and it'll either be a good update or a bad update, because if she's thirsty right now and the leaves haven't perked up after a water, then I know like the roots are rotting. But if she does perk up after I water her, then we'll know it's good and she was just thirsty and she's rooting and stuff, so she'll be fine. But either way, she'll be fine. It's just if they are starting to rot, those roots that were in the pole, if they continued to decline once I put her in here, then it's just going to set the growth back a little bit, because I'll have to take it out, stick it in water, let it reroot, plant it, and it's going to be some time before it actually grows. So we'll see about this one. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'll get back up off the floor here, and we're going to go ahead and take this one out and stick this one in water. I'll go ahead and do this one really quick with you now, and I think what I'll do is just kind of style this a little bit on my own, and then I'll give you like an overview of the space here, and then I'll pop on in a few days and give you like one final update on Adansonii. Let's try not to make a mess. Yeah, this, oh shoot, there actually is a healthy root. No, maybe I shouldn't have disturbed it then. This aerial root here rotted, but there's a healthy root right here growing. Shucks, I wonder if I should leave it back in here then. No, I'm gonna stick it in water. There is one healthy root, but this aerial root has started to rot. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off, and this aerial root rotted. There just wasn't a healthy enough root system. I should have known better, but that's okay. All right, I wanna snip this aerial root off, like right here. And yeah, this is just from being underwatered in the moss pool here. This top part is all like, it's just dry rot. There's like nothing you can do with dry rot. You just have to clip it all away, because there's just no saving those roots. So yeah, this will continue to grow, this healthy one, in water, and this plant should perk up. It'll do just fine. So this gives me confidence that the monstera adansonii will be fine. Because I was watching my watering, I didn't want to overdo it. I was trying to be mindful that these roots might shock. I brought a big vessel, a big vessel of water, and we're just gonna stick this right down in here. I'm gonna remove this pole because it's not gonna get enough of the roots down below the surface. I'll just add it back when it roots up, or just retie it. Okay. I'm gonna make sure I get enough roots down here in the water. Okay, that'll be good. So we'll let this chill out, grow some healthy roots, and then we'll pot it right back up into here. I'm just gonna save this mix, of course. There's nothing wrong with it. Just pull out these little bit of rotted roots. It was really just that one big aerial root. So this is all fine. I'm gonna dump this back in here. I feel like it would have perked up once more roots, you know, started to grow in, so that's okay. A little bit more work for me. All right, so I'm gonna save this for this guy. I'll just set this off to the side. All right, that is our updated manjula. I went ahead and brought some water in, so what I'm gonna do for the next little bit is water some of these guys and get this styled a little bit. I'm gonna trim off some of the brown on the adansonii and just do a deep water, because I feel like the substrate is completely dry. So I'll probably just sit it on something where I can actually flush it, give it a good drink all the way through, let it drain. So I'll do that and style this, and I'll be back on in a second, and we'll show you kind of the updated moss pole wall. I'm back. Okay, let me show you what I did so far. And this isn't like the final setup. I need to get some different plant stands, like of varying heights. I need some smaller ones. So I might look on Amazon, because I went to my local TJ Maxx and found a couple, but I need some variation. So I'm gonna find some small ones and place them here, and I think that will elevate some and make some look a little bit better. Back in this corner here, I lifted adansonii up off the floor so I have a plant stand, and then I cut away some of the browning leaves. I gave it a good water and let it drain. And yeah, hopefully the next few days I'll be able to know, hopefully even by tomorrow, once the plant takes up some water, if it has healthy roots, the leaf on the left, like the curling, should look better. I ended up putting the manjula in front so I could get some light, and then, you know, it's in that water vessel, and then the epipremnum is in water still. And then I have the 3 bigger phylos kind of stuffed here for right now. I have the sodiroi, the glorious in the back, and then the gigas. And then I have the 2 epipremnum here, the marble queen and then the jessenia. So I like that the marble queen is on that plant stand, and I like that the adansonii is on a stand. So I need to figure out like this area and how to elevate some. So I think getting some varying heights will work, because what I did over this way in the front, I have 3 different plant stands and they're of varying heights. So I feel like this looks good. I put the cebu blue there. I did find that plant stand at TJ Maxx, but I think I might use that for, I'm thinking maybe I can put my manjula in there once it roots up, and then I could let it like climb up the wall this way on the very end, because I feel like I need a skinny plant for by the door area, and I feel like that one will look good there, and that's where I had it before. And here on the shelf I put the majestic and then the esqueleto. I didn't pot up the majestic yet because I'm not sure I want to keep it growing. Same with the esqueleto, I'm not sure, so I'll decide sometime next month if I want to let them go or not. Hello, popping back on. It is 4 days later. Yes, it is 4 days later, so I wanted to give you a mini update on adansonii and the manjula really quick. Okay, here's the manjula. Looks 10 times better, right? It's already perked up so much. Maybe I could do like a side-by-side comparison. I feel like if I would have left it in the mix, it should have been fine in some time. I feel like it would have rehydrated, but this obviously is going to be a lot faster and quicker for this plant. So a little bit of a setback, but that is okay. Once it gets enough roots, I will pot it back up and it'll continue on growing. Oh, being attacked by an aerial root. But adansonii back here in the corner, honestly, I feel like she's fine. You know, it's been 4 days. I feel like there's probably just not enough of a healthy root system in there yet to take up the water that it needs. So I don't think I'm going to mess with it. I think I'm just going to leave it. I gave it a good drink, so I'll probably check in a couple of weeks, maybe 10 days, the moisture level. And if it's dried out again, I'll give it a good drink and just let it, you know, focus on rooting right now. I think if I were to take it out and stick it in water, it would perk up faster, but I really don't want to disturb it. So I think it's going to be fine. Either way, it'll be fine, but I think I'm just going to leave it in there and I'll follow up. So at the end of the month, look for like a full planting update. I'll give you another update in that video. Yeah, if for some reason it does go downhill, I don't think it will, but if for some reason it does, then I will take it out and stick it in water. But yeah, I'm just gonna let it do its thing, root up. It'll be able to take up more moisture, the leaves will firm up, and it'll start pushing new growth in some time. So I think I will update on them again, like a full video, maybe in a couple of months. That way we can look back to see the progress they've made and the new growth that by then, I feel like a lot of them should be pushing new growth. So I'm excited to see how that's gonna do. And I'm just excited to continue to grow these plants without being on a moss pole, and just excited to move on from that and to watch my plants continue to grow. And I don't know, I'm just excited for the next chapter. Thank you so much for watching and for being here, and I will talk to you again soon.